Yeah, I think right now we're just trying to focus on ourselves. We have a battle day today and probably tomorrow, and just make sure we fine-tune some things, and then we'll get looking at pre-scout a little bit more later in the week and get prepared for them. And we obviously know how good they are and how difficult it can be to play in their rank in the elevation. So we're just making sure that we're getting prepared right now on the ice, and then soon we'll do pre-scout and get ready for whatever they throw at us.
From a player's point of view, is elevation, do you notice it all? Is it that big of a factor?
I think like in the first game you probably don't notice it as much. I think towards the end of the game you'll notice it a little bit, but I think the second game's where it comes into play a lot. After being tired from the first game, and then you don't have that like second win you usually have. So I think it comes into factor a little bit, but you try not to think about it, and it doesn't really bother you too much.
For either of you, how rewarding was it to finally get a couple pucks in the back of the net after weeks prior where you guys were facing really good goalies and they were getting the best of you?
Yeah, it feels good always when you can score, and we've had some really tough defensive games. We've been struggling to score a little bit, so it always feels nice to get one in. But I think before this past weekend, we still have been doing a lot of good things. It just kind of wasn't going in for us, and when you can get one, it feels good.
It feels like the lines have been changing kind of all throughout, trying to find some chemistry. Is that finally hitting on last weekend, finding some chemistry out there a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's partly due to injuries. We've had guys in and out of the lineup a lot, and we've struggled to score a little bit, so we're just trying to find some combinations that work. And last weekend we scored some goals at 5-5, which felt really good. And we'll see if it continues into this weekend. We're not too sure what the lineups are going to be yet, but we have a lot of good players up front. So regardless of who you're playing with, you just got to do the right things, and we should be good out there.
Do you guys feel like you click pretty easily, or is it, with so many changes because of the injuries, hard to sometimes build that chemistry when you're playing with different guys, night in, night out?
Well, the D pairs changed a little bit. They haven't been changing too much, but they change a little bit here and there. And on the defensive side, I think it's pretty easy to click. It's not too hard, especially when you get a full week of practice with one guy. It's not too bad. And even if they switch on the weekends, we all go with each other, different reps in practice and everything. You're always playing with each other as D-men, so I'd say on the defensive side, not much there.
Yeah, I think up front, I think we have been clicking. It's just the puck hasn't been going in for us really. We've had lots of good opportunities, and a lot of the lines have, had really good looks. So I think we have been clicking. We're just running into hot goaltending, and we're just getting a bit unlucky. And then this past weekend, luckily, we finally had that, luck turn around a bit, and we scored some goals.
Anthony, for you, a couple points last weekend at Omaha. How do you feel like your game is at right now?
Oh yeah, I feel like it definitely got way better this weekend rather than other weekends. Kind of just getting ready for the conference play and then finally getting to do it. Super excited. So I'm really happy that I'm pretty happy with my game right now, but definitely not satisfied. I want to just keep going, keep getting better every day.
How has it been working with the three freshmen D? I know you were in that spot last year, and now you're 1 year older.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I learned a lot, kind of how to do that with all the older guys that were here last year that ended up moving on. But all of them are great. They're great guys, great players. So they're pretty easy to be around the rink with all day. And any questions they got, I'm always there for them. And yeah, they're all great guys.
What did you see out of a guy's game like Sam Corton?
What was that? Sorry.
What did you see out of Sam Corton in his game coming in?
I was super excited for him coming in. He's a really good player. He's got a lot of skill. He plays hard defensively. He's fast, moves the puck well. He's a great player, and coming in, it was just moving to college, always about doing everything harder, faster, stronger, and he's definitely doing that. And and on top of that, he's a great kid too. So.
Howard has talked a lot about the depth you guys have on your roster. How do you feel about the quality of that depth and what it's produced so far?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of skill and a lot of speed, and I think we've used our speed really well. I feel like we've smothered teams a lot, outshot them because of that speed, because we're so strong in the back check. We defend fast and we turn pucks up. So I feel like we've been using that speed and that skill really well. Just around the net, we want to be a little bit more successful around the net, scoring goals. But I think it's the depth. We have so many guys that can skate well and make plays, and we've been doing that really well. We've been defending really well as well.
You mentioned a couple things you want to fine-tune for this weekend. What are some of those things?
Yeah, well, we know Denver, how good their movement is from the past few years, in the offensive zone. So really closing down and defending fast. We've been really good with that this year. Our breakouts have been really good because we haven't really spent a lot of time defending our zones. We're killing plays. So I think we got to make sure that we do that just because their movement is so good. And then I think getting to the net, having a guy in high ice, making plays in the offensive zone, little things like that, we hopefully can fine-tune throughout practice this week and be even better than we were last weekend.
And then speaking of getting to the net, all of your guys' goals on Saturday came from pretty much the exact same spot. Was that premeditated at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like it's the systems we're trying to play right now. We have been playing throughout the year, and we got those bounces this weekend finally. We always want to have guys driving the net, whether that's off transition or whether that's in zone, and it kind of clicked this weekend. And I thought we did a better job at getting pucks on net instead of missing the net, so that we could get on those rebounds.
Anthony, for you, coach has been very positive about your breakout game and getting the puck to the forwards to win that possession battle. How would you see that game has been so far this year in terms of your mindset, getting it to the forwards?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just what I try to do as a D-man. Obviously, I love to play offense. That's something I love to do, but we have a lot of guys who love to play offense too on the back end. So, but we got to let the forwards do their job, and we got to give them the puck when the time's right, and giving it to them just to break it out. Like, you're not going to – in college hockey, you're not just going to skate the puck all the way down the ice every time, or most of the time anyway. So just giving it to the forwards as much as you can, let them go to work, and then you'll get it back at some point. So, yeah.
How important is winning the possession battle at the 5-man?
Yeah, I think it's probably the most important thing, just because, if you want to score, you got to have the puck, and also if you want the other team not to score, the best defense is offense. So winning the possessions and not just like throwing pucks away, just giving it to them, trying to possess it, but not possess it too much, and try to attack as much as we can.
Yeah, especially this weekend. If you don't win possession against Denver, you're going to be in the D zone for a minute, just because their movement's so good. So we have to make sure that when there are loose pucks, like we're winning those battles more often than not.
For both of you, from playing Denver last year and what you've seen of them this year, what is it, do you think, from what you've seen that makes them so dominant all the time?
They make plays all over the ice, and they work it really well as a 5-man unit. I always think that good defensive teams, their forwards are really well structured in the D zone, and good offensive teams, their defensemen are really, really good at creating offense, and they have that all over the ice. Like, their forwards, they compete in the defensive zone, and then the offensive zone, their defensemen are so active, they move. It's really hard to cover guys as a winger, as a centerman, because your guys are constantly moving. So, their ability to make plays and their movement is really strong. But last year we had some success against them, so we're not scared to play them. But it'll be an exciting game. But that's what makes them really good.
There's been a handful of defining moments in this program's history against Denver over the years. The first time they came to Oceanside and ASU won, the overtime win last year. How much fun is it to play these guys when they're the defending national champions? Does that change being in the same conference now? Does it feel different maybe than it would have been last year?
I wouldn't say it feels too much different. It's obviously way better that we're in a conference this year. We get to play a bunch of great teams, and especially Denver being, they were the best team last year. They won it, so it's definitely going to be cool to go play the reigning champs. But try not to think about it too much, and they're just a good hockey team, so we know what we got to go in there and do.
Yeah, I think it's always exciting playing top teams. For me, throughout my college career, I've been lucky enough to play a lot of national champions. Like when I was at Northeastern, we played UMass a lot of times, and they won. And then last year, Denver, and the year before, I know Minnesota didn't win, but we got to play them. We've had some fun wins, and it's just really exciting. The atmosphere when you play top teams like that, nothing beats it. So hopefully everybody's up for this game this weekend, and it should be a lot of fun.
Has there been any power play talk, or 1 for 6 against Colorado College, 1 for 7 this last weekend? What's kind of that one like?
Yeah. We work on it every week, so we've made some adjustments to the units this week, and just every week we've kind of been changing things here and there, just trying to find what works. And I think this week hopefully we got it.
Is there a unit on power play that you felt like either of you have worked stronger than others?
I wouldn't say any work stronger than others. I think we have so many guys with so much skill, and so I feel you could put anybody, really, a lot of guys anywhere. But I think some guys have some units have clicked some games and not others, but not one more than another, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's the good thing about having so much depth as well, is you can change things week in, week out, and still find success. So I think that's kind of what the coach's idea is. We're just making minor tweaks, and we have a lot of good players that can make a lot of plays, so I'm sure we'll find it. Yeah.
From a forward point of view, how dynamic is a guy like Colin Potter, just flying around there constantly? Is it easy to play with him and he can make those plays?
Yeah, for sure. And speed is so important. I think it not only does he make plays at that speed and make space for his teammates, but he also tires the opposition down. So the next line that goes out, they can have more success as well, just because the other team's tired. So I think it's huge. I think speed's so important, and he's obviously really fast. So yeah.
last question.
We saw Coach Dana running practice today. What does he bring to you guys from a developmental standpoint, and what he brings to the coaching staff?
I think he brings a ton. He brings like a lot of hockey knowledge. He loves to play a possession game, but also get pucks on net at the same time. Not doing one too much more than the other. Possession's definitely a lot of good, but you got to get pucks to net. And I think he's a great coach, great at teaching us what we need to do, hard on us when he needs to be, and yeah, we love having him out there.
He brings like really good energy every day too. So when you get into the season, sometimes it can be a bit of a grind, and he's always there, just lightening up the mood and keeping the energy high. So he's obviously really good at that, aside from the tactical things that he's also really good at. So he's awesome to have out there.
Speaking of special teams too, you guys have been perfect in the PK when you guys have won games. How important is the PK going to be going into Denver?
Very, very important. I'm sure they have a really good power play. I haven't looked, but like I said, they're a team that's really good with possession. They have a lot of skill. They make a lot of plays. So the PK, like, we have to be really good this weekend, and our power play also has to be really good this weekend, and that's what we're going to need to be successful.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys. Thanks.